What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So if you guys give me the HKO special, help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. So today we're gonna talk about Riley Gaines. Yes. So she had something to say. Yeah. Okay. And this is Riley Gaines, the Democrat Republic. A Democrat. Summer Lee, if I'm transphobic, you're a misogynist. So take a look. On Tuesday, members of U.S. Congress convened for a subcommittee on healthcare and financial services hearing. Outkick's Riley Gaines testified on behalf of female athletes. Republican Representative Lisa McClain led the proceedings while the squad member, a Democrat Republic, Summer Lee, served as a ranking member on the opposite side, advocating for biological man to play women's sports. So the hearing began with a strong opening statement from Republican McCann, who made her position very clear. So I'm going to state what she says. Quite simply, men do not belong in women's sports. She stated that this needs to be said out loud and is kind of a sad reflection of where the other side is on the issues. There should be no debate about this. So shifting to the opposite side, Summer Lee had 5 minutes to address the committee following McLean, and Lee started by attacking anyone on the opposing side. She's discussing that she has to listen to this transphobic bigotry. Not satisfied by pre-label everyone else's positions, she once ends her time by saying those who poser like Riley Gaines are going to spook hateful misinformation. Again, she formed this opinion before any of the witnesses had a chance to speak. So here we go. Let's see if Riley says anything.
Pointing to me that although the title of this hearing implies a much needed discussion, we're likely going to be forced to listen to transphobic bigotry. Sports are a vital aspect of education that offers important lessons. Athletics allows young people from diverse backgrounds to engage in healthy movement and play, learn how to work as a team, and form meaningful connections. Madam Chair, I ask that while we sit through this hearing and hear the hateful misinformation I'm sure is going to come our way, let us not forget that children are at the core of this issue.
Okay, so, and then following Lee's statement, the committee recognized Riley Gage as she started, yes, indeed, started up again. Let me make sure the volume is up. Yep, so there she goes. Yep, and change the same locker room, huh? Against Will Thomas. So Gaines also talked about the majority of Americans feel about this issue. She said, common sense Americans agree wholeheartedly with her message. She knows better because she travels the country and talks to people affected by this use. So after finished making her statement, Gaines punctuated her opening statement with a profound response to the negative comments made by Republican Lee. If I'm transphobic, then you're a misogynist, Gaines declared. Lee demanded that the committee withdraws Gaines' comment. She claimed essentially that Gaines personally attacked her. The irony is that Lee openly name called and criticized Gaines before she could speak. No one demanded her speech to be excluded. So let's watch a little bit of the snippets here.
Who is working to minimize the harm done to female athletes? Let me be perfectly clear. A school that knowingly allows a male athlete to take a spot on a women's team or allows a male athlete to take the field in a women's game is denying a female student athletic opportunity. And that is sex-based discrimination, and it violates Title IX, regardless of what the new regulations might say. It is my sincere hope that members of this committee will take action to stop the Biden administration's illegal and administrative rewrite of Title IX. Of course, there is a place for everyone, regardless of gender identity, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of race or what sports you play. There's a place for everyone to play sports in this country. But unsafe, unfair, and discriminatory practices towards women must stop. Inclusion cannot be prioritized over safety and fairness. And Ranking Member Lee, if my testimony makes me transphobic, then I believe your opening monologue makes you a misogynist. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Yep. So there you go. So the way of hearing was set up. Lee had a chance to respond to Gaines in typical fashion. She doesn't have the facts to support her argument that biological man competing in women's sports is perfectly fine, but not fine, but encouraged. But instead, she turned the hearing, which was strict about protecting fairness in women's sports, into discussion about abortion. That what would a Democrat politician be used, he or she, or also bring race to the discussion? What did Lee did? Because, of course. Okay, so let's see. Let's hear from Lee.
Health Protection Act, which passed in the House last year and would protect and expand access to abortion care. Not a single Republican voted for this law. We've seen these same misguided arguments before, rooted in false stereotypes. When athletes of color tried to integrate white sports leagues who were accused of taking away opportunities from white athletes. Black women in sports, whether they are cis, trans, or intersex, constantly encounter shifting rules and expectations as a reprimand for their success. They are accused of doping or cheating in order to win. People make cruel remarks about their perceived femininity and create racist depictions of their physicality, all in attempts to discourage and exclude them from competing, and ultimately to keep them from winning. They were wrong then, and they're wrong now.
So, okay. Yep, and the hearing lasted 3 hours. Not worth breaking down the entire inquiry, but there were some themes throughout that are important to note. So almost every Democrat representative that spoke used his or her time to deflect from the issue at hand. Like Lee, many of them appointed to abortion and race. Some even delved into the war in the Middle East. Their goal was to paint the dissecting Republican as women haters while simultaneously arguing against fairness in women's sports. Wow. This strategy seemed to be one choice because the facts and science is not on their side. And secondly, very noticeable strategy was to completely paint Gaines and her coach as excluding trans people from sports. That's simply false. So frequently, Democratic representatives labeled pro woman bills as anti trans as an attempt to exclude trans athletes from sports. Then they explained how important sports are to the mental health of young people. I like them to all remember when they're arguing that football isn't safe enough, but I digress. The goal here is to exclude biological men from competing in women's sports. So those biological men are free to compete in sports with other biological men. So if they want to compete in men's, if they don't want to compete in men's sport, that's their choice. But they shouldn't get the choice to invade women's sports in the name of exclusivity. So yeah. So there you go, Riley Gaines. Let her have it. Yep. There you go. Yep. So once again, Riley Gaines stepping up to the plate here. Yep. So one thing, she did not state that, yeah, trans males shouldn't have their own category. We just don't want it into the women's sports. I mean, come on, look at all the news that's going on, especially in volleyball. A hard spike to the girl's head. She can't even think straight, come on. And then if you open your mouth, oh, you're this, you're that. But that's where we're at this point. Jesus. I mean, we're actually talking about this? This is a discussion? Come on. Well, there you have it. So, Riley Gaines, good job. And yep, I'm behind ya. All right, everyone. If you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. So, wherever you are, I will see you in my next video.